box, you will get a recording of today's webinar. You will not get it till tomorrow. So please don't worry and think you need to email me because I overlooked you. It's actually the system at work. And as long as you've commented in that question box, so you know now understand why I did spend some time sharing that with you. Not only do I want to customize this for you, but I want to make sure you get a copy of today's recording. So do make sure you comment in the question box. It'll pick up the email that you actually registered for the webinar with, so you don't have to put your email. As long as you've commented there, you're good, but it will be tomorrow because we do have several webinars, not just me, but several of the trainers are utilizing the webinar platform today. Hello, Janae, welcome. So again, we're talking today about reach customers online. And I said again because I wanted to make sure that I brought up the fact that you know, there we go, here we are, how to get to our closed caption, which is right up here, g.co/grow/Maria. Click on that, it'll open up another window and you can use the gear icon at the top right to customize anything. We're gonna be talking about how you can reach customers online. I'm also going to share with you different ways that you can use tools to better yourself without you having to spend money. And then we'll finish up with a Q&A. Now, do know that I do turn off the video recording for the Q&A to keep it private for you. And actually, Q&A is only available to people who are here in person live, okay? So I will do that. Those of you who are in the last webinar know and can attest to the fact that I will stay after as long as there's questions, right? So I will stay after, but I will be respectful of your time and finish on time. All right, so we've got Jesse here, Tila, Sybil, absolutely, Christy, you will get a copy. If you are posting or tweeting, if you'll use this hashtag #GrowWithGoogle, it'll let all of your friends know that you're leveling up your skills, but it also lets the Google team know that this matters, and I love for them to know it matters because now it encourages them to create more. And if you're tagging on Instagram or on Twitter, this is my Twitter handle right up here, my Instagram handle here, please tag me because I'll happily share you and repost you in my stories or on Twitter, okay? Happy to do that. Hello, Carolyn, I see you. Janisha, I can see you here too. No need to add your email. It's picking that all up, Janisha, so you're all good. All right, let's dive in, everybody. Ready to go? All right, we're gonna be talking about how people find things, right? We know they search. Google is the #1 search engine in the world. Does anybody have an idea who #2 is? Let me know in the question box. I'd love to hear who you think the #2 search engine is in the world. And do understand as you're answering that, people do more than just search to buy online. We even search local businesses. So if you have a local business and you're not wanting to do any e-commerce on your site, but you want to draw people in and to let them know that you're still here, alive and kicking, and that they can locally do business with you, know that people are going there when they want to know what your inventory is, what your hours of operation, what your guidelines are, if you have any special hours like moonlight hours, senior hours, do you have outdoor seating. They're looking for all of that information, and we are going here first. Whenever we want to know, go, do, or buy, we go to a mobile device. 76% of us go here first before desktop, and we are looking for that information. And whoever presents it easy and makes it easy for us to do business with them, that's who we're going to go see. So let me see, I see some people here, YouTube big. Okay, some of you know the drill. So it is, YouTube's the #2 search engine in the world. It's all owned by Google, just like Google is Google search, YouTube is as well. The big thing about YouTube is it is a search engine and a social network. It's the #2 search engine in the world, the #2 social network in the world. Shorts actually even rank higher than TikToks. So it's really important for you to understand what you're going to learn today, to understand Google search, because that's the lion's share of where the eyeballs are. And if people don't see you and they don't know you exist, they cannot do business with you. So I'm going to launch to a video now. This is always the dangerous part because if your audio isn't working correctly, you might need to call in for this part. So you'll see that listed at the top, how to call in. You may need to switch from computer audio if you're on a mobile device. You may need to switch from that audio to phone audio. But I'm going to launch into that and then I'll be right back. So let me do this dangerous part here. Hold on just a second. We're going to get there. All right.
People ask us all the time, how do I get into work?
All right, there we go. We're back. I know some of you said in the question box that you couldn't hear, and that is because I did switch to video that pulls from another audio source. Hopefully you can hear me back now. If you would let me know in the question box, that would be great. And I will go over what you just saw because, you know, it is important for us to look and understand the moments that people are actually searching for us, because that's us being experts in our customers. And we really need to understand the customer's journey and their decision journey. We need to know that backwards and forwards. Do know that it's the person or the business that understands and knows that really well, they're an expert in it, that gets to win the business. Okay, so perfect. Thank you so much, Lakita, Sybil, Eric. Perfect. Thank you so much, Amber. Glad. So yes, that sometimes happens with the video. Oh, good. I'm glad you were able to hear the video too, Ruth. That does sometimes happen. There is one other video here just to warn you ahead of time, but again, they're really short, just to give you an example of how people search and look for things. Do know that I also want you to understand how your customers search, because that's more important. But do you know that's no longer just generational? This is a really shift, as we saw in 2020, of the way that we all operate and the way we do when we want to know, go do or buy, right? What we do. So as we go through, we're going to be talking about how Google search works. Remember what I said about the importance of that, just because that's where a lot of volume, a lot of eyeballs are going. And then also how to reach customers with search engine optimization. How many of you know and understand what SEO is? I'm not going to be able to do a full webinar on SEO, but I'm going to touch on some things, okay? So let me know in the question box how familiar you are with search engine optimization, which really just means knowing how the search engine and making sure the search engine can see you at the best you can be. Perfect. Awesome. And then also how to create a business profile. Let me know, show of hands, if you have your Google business profile. I would love to know in the question box. And if you know how to access where to find that link so you can share it with other people, put that link in there too. Perfect. And then a little bit about advertising. As I said, I would touch on that, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. I am a bootstrap marketer. I believe in utilizing and optimizing what you have available to you free. First, get that right, because when you advertise, that is now you are promoting and amplifying whatever you have. And if all you have is chaos, all you're doing is paying and amplifying for that. And we simply do not have the time, do we? Or the energy or money as small businesses. Perfect. I see people do. Some have their profile. Yep, let me know what your profile link is inside. I know you can find it. If you're not sure where to find it, if you go to the dashboard, so you do have to do this in the dashboard, you're going to go into home and look at info, and there you will see the link to be able to share your Google business profile. If you didn't know that before, now you know, and that's how you can share with people where to leave their reviews of your business, okay? Which is what you definitely want to teach people how to do. All right, let's get this going here. How Google search works, let's dive in. Now, you may be very familiar, I hope, and I'm sure you have been actually using Google search bar. So you can do this here. You could do it up top at the address URL too. Okay, so a lot are familiar. They don't have a profile. They don't have a phone number for your business. Okay, well, that makes sense too. You want to wait till you have that. Absolutely. So some people starting up here too. So I'm glad you let me know that. Perfect, Catherine. Good to know that too, Sybil. Thank you. So when you're searching, what happens is you get these search results. So if you look at a search result page, I'm going to show you at the very top, you see a text ad. Sometimes you'll see photos there too. So that's Google Shopping ads. You have to pay for that position. You don't earn that position. But a text ad also is that you're paying for, and you usually see it denoted with a little green box that says add, and then you get the organic search results. Every Google search page does deliver 10 organic Google search results. So those have to be earned. You cannot pay your way into those. Plus, they all have a Google business profile. If your business does have a business profile, it prominently sits here at the right-hand side. Very nice visual branding and great visual real estate to capture somebody's attention. And understand that is super important. We all only have 86,400 seconds in a day. We're inundated with a little over 12,000 messages in one day. So to be able to stand out in a way that's free and pretty prominent, as that business profile shows you right here, is a great way to do that. Plus, it also ensures that your hours of operation and your contact information is correct across all of Google tools. And with that as the #1 search engine in the world, you do want to make it sure and make it easy and make sure that your information is correct as it's being propagated across all of the Google tools. So that's what it looks like. Now, we do know that when somebody's searching for something, what happens is there's a Google bot that goes back there looking for the information. But I'm going to ask you to think about that for a minute. So you've got a Google bot searching for all that information. It does a great job doing that, but sometimes it misses, sometimes it doesn't find the right page. Sometimes it doesn't find all the correct information, maybe even old information or information you hadn't intended for the public to see. Or maybe it doesn't even find you. You're invisible to Google. And if you're invisible to Google, the problem with that is that when people are searching, they aren't finding you either. And if they don't know you exist, they cannot do business with you. So you have to, the very basic, be visible to people, and they be aware that you have a product, service, or solution that can serve them. So I'm going to let you know that what people do when they search is they will only look at the first page of an organic search result. Now, the average before 2020 was that people would look at the first 30 searches of an organic Google search. Remember what I said, every page of search gives you 10 organic search results. So that's about 3 pages. That was before 2020. We know the whole world and business environment shifted. We know that people are faster and going and becoming familiar with even more tech and feeling very comfortable with it, that now they just go here and they look at the first page of search. If they have to go past the first page of search, it's highly unlikely that they're going to find you. So it's really important that they find you in Google search. And that is one of the reasons why I am a big fan of the Google Business Profile, because it is a great way for you to get visual visibility. But also, my question to you is, do you understand that Google is not the World Wide Web? It is truly, it's the biggest library of the World Wide Web. It's truly what it is. It's not the World Wide Web. So knowing that, have you entered your book in the library, or are you expecting Googlebot to just show you that? So that's my first question to you. Do you know how to enter your book in the library? Oh, wonderful, Kimberly. I see you found the link. I can't see your screen with the information. Okay, who else can't see the screen? Let me look here. I'll make sure that it, oh, no one can. Well, thank you so much. All right, who's the first one who said that? Eric, thank you so much for letting me know. That happens sometimes when I switch off of video. I'm so glad that you said that. There you go. How about now? Let me know in the question box. Perfect. Oh my goodness. Thanks so much. I'm so glad you said something, Eric. That's perfect. Everybody that feel comfortable letting me know these things, because I want this to be a great experience for you. Thank you so much for saying that. All right. So knowing this, let's go back to that then. There we go. That's what search results look like. Remember what I said about the first organic search result? And look there, right, nice and beautiful on that right-hand side, that business profile, getting a lot of good visual real estate, a lot of eyeballs there. So you do get a lot of visibility. And Googlebot does go out there and take a look and look for things when people search. But here's the key to remember, is most people only look at the first page of search. You have to earn that position there. And the way you earn that is by making sure that you're showing up well in a search engine. You do need to make sure you enter your book in the library called Google. So if you think about that, back in the day when we would actually go into a library at a card catalog, okay, I'm going to date myself, but you go in and you go search and everything was categorized by the Dewey Decimal System, right? So you would go out there and you'd find it in the card catalog, you look in the stacks and you're looking for something, some information. Well, Googlebot's doing the same thing. It goes out there, it goes to take a look and see who has a book, and it's usually looking for one sentence in the last paragraph of a book, your website being a book. My question to you is, have you entered your book into that library? Because while Googlebot is amazing, it's not foolproof. And I also know that you have that control, and I always know when people don't use it, because I'll hear comments like, oh, I don't know why Google doesn't see me. I'm not sure why it's seeing this page. That's old information. That's usually clue into me to know you don't know how to enter your site into Google's library. So let me know if that would be important to you, because we are going to cover that today. But if you already know how to do that, I won't go in depth. So let me know in the question box. Again, looking at the organic search results, that's what it looks like. And imagine here that you had that kind of real estate. You could, just like Trade Street Jam, all of that visual, as well as here in your Google business profile. And you had it on search and maps, because we all search totally different, right? So we want to be able to meet people where they're at. It's the concept of fish where the fish are. It takes a tremendous amount of time, energy, and money to get people to look over here and to teach them to do that, than to be where they're at, meet them, and to get their eyeballs looking at you. So let's dive in deeper to talk about what SEO is. So I do see, yes, I want to learn. Okay, perfect. You don't know. I don't know how to enter things in the library. Great. I'm going to show you how to do that. Show me how to, okay, perfect. I will definitely cover that. So SEO, remember what I said, this is the search engine being able to see you. And one of the ways to do that is to make sure that you enter it into the library, and that you make sure the library lets you know what it can see or can't see. It's important when you are creating content for search engine optimization to make sure that you're publishing great content. It needs to be unique. It needs to be something that resonates with your audience. It's not just keywords that we're looking for or phrases. You're looking for that audience experience, because if they don't like it, then it's going to show up lower on search. And we want to make sure we take care of the person who's searching. All right, so we might put some of the information that we find that's great content and the way they're searching into our page titles and our descriptions. All right. So this is what the challenge is for you, to know the answer to these three questions. When somebody knows you exist and they know there's a product or service that can serve them, how are they searching for you? What words are they using? Okay, maybe they're searching by your personal name, maybe by your business name. But if they don't know you exist and they know there's a product or service that can serve them, either searching for kitchen fire extinguishers, or different gardening tools, maybe the lightest but most easy use kind of mallet. What are they looking for? Because we really need to be an expert and know how people are searching for us. Don't tell people how to search. Don't guess at that. Make sure you know by having a good conversation either with your current clients, or like Eric was saying, he's new to the business, so he might go to people who are already doing business with your competitors, who are friends of yours, who you feel comfortable talking to find out how they search. But the most important of those questions is the third one, which is if they do not know your name, and they have no idea that there's a product or service that can serve them, how are they searching for you? What do they do? Do they go into Facebook and just yell out into their feed, hey, does anybody know how to straighten my kid's teeth? Because if you're using the phrase or the keywords pediatric dentist and they're not using those words, then you're not going to match with them. The number one part of Google's algorithm, which is actually a lot of different things, but there are three main pillars. And one is whether or not you're relevant, matching what somebody is searching. So if you are using pediatric dentist everywhere, but they're searching for who can straighten my kid's teeth, you're missing out on people that would be the best customer for you. And it's also important for you to organize your site, not just for people and their actual experience, because you want good user experience that does weigh heavy in the algorithm, but also because you want the search engine to be able to find exactly what you're doing and what people are looking for, making it easy for it to be searched by a human as well as the search engine. Now, let me see, I've got some questions. Okay, perfect. So one of the ways first is to look at the different keywords in your key phrases is to use Google Trends. Marla, this is my favorite tool of all the Google tools. I love Google Trends. So if you've not ever used it before, go to the lower left-hand corner here, go to g.co/trends. Google Trends lets you know what people are searching for right now that matters to them in your area, around your business, around your competitor's business. Okay, so if you go to Google Trends, yes, Marla, I know, I love this. When people finally discover this, I love the reaction and the excitement. I get so many people messaging me, telling me, look what I found here. I didn't know they were talking about this here. So I love when they see that, because now it tells you either in a worldwide search or even searching through images or even just searching YouTube, exactly what people are talking about. It's telling you where the fish are. Now you just have to match what you're doing, you know, and show up on their radar. Fish where the fish are, right? So what Google Trends can do for you is it can help find relevant products or topics. So let me play a moment with a Corpus Christi veterinarian. And let's say they wanted to see in Corpus Christi, Texas, what some of the relevant products are. So they might look that up and see that people are really searching right now about flea and tick care, because it's getting warmer and their dogs are going outside more now, and maybe they're looking to be able to take care of that. If you're wondering what topics to talk about, what content to put, excuse me, what content to put on all of your socials, this is where the eyeballs are right now. If you're looking and you're seeing that they're talking about flea and tick need, flea and tick care. So it's a relevant topic. It's not specific about a veterinarian, but it is specific to the market that you serve. What you can also see when you look at Google Trends is if there's seasonal trends. Maybe you're new to the business and you don't realize, you know, that there's really a lot of people looking in January, but then it kind of lulls down during summer. I mean, during the spring, and then in summer it kicks back up again. You will then need to see those trends and decide how you're going to market and what will get more people looking at you. So you're not talking about, you know, it's so cold and the galoshes are out, or rain boots, and you have to worry about all of this rain stuff when we're in the middle of May and it's as dry as can be, you know? So keep that in mind too. It also helps with keyword research. It lets you know what people are searching for and also what they're doing with your competitor. So what I like to do with Google Trends is I will bring it up, and usually every morning, cup of coffee, and I will bring up Google Trends and I will search a business. I will search then its 2 or 3 competitors next to it. The reason being is I want to see what people are searching for to find that business. And not only that, I might search that I only want to look in the state of Oklahoma to see what they're looking for in that business. Now, when I do that, I might be able to then see some of the words they're using for a competitor and use that too in social posts, in YouTube videos, or in YouTube video descriptions and YouTube shorts, and then maybe even a blog post to get some of those eyeballs looking at this business. If you can get those competitors' eyeballs, people searching for the competitors looking at you, now you have a chance to earn and win the business, right? So also what you can do is you can look and see what's trending on YouTube. If you've ever been just totally you're just so confused on what content to put out, you're not sure, you know, what do I post about today? Either in socials as posts or videos that you're putting in Instagram Reels stories, TikToks, or YouTube Shorts. Now you can find out exactly what's trending on YouTube. Remember? Fish where the fish are. That's how you can show up on their radar and be seen without spending a lot of time, energy, and money. You can also, if you're brand new to a business, you might see the seasonality, meaning that maybe there's a larger sales cycle and maybe you have something like a house or a car, something that doesn't get bought every month or every year, but now you can see what that cycle is and you can plan for that cycle. So again, this is 100% free, or you might just want to look at your local community. Some people just want to know. I mean, I used to do that all the time. I still do. I'm in Midland, Texas, base of the Panhandle. What's Midland talking about? Because does any of that pertain, or where I can make a comment or do a post that would get Midland looking, their eyeballs looking at this business? Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Yes, so how do you research a competitors using Google Trends? Let me show you. Let me go to a live demo real quick. All right, hold on here. I've got to bring up another screen. Give me just a moment. So I'm going to g.co/trends, but I'm going to show you, so I know you can't see it yet. All right, so this is what Google Trends looks like. Let me make that bigger because I know I'm broadcasting. All right, so if you wanted to look at your competitors, let's just, somebody shout out in the question box, competitor's name. Nobody? Okay, Oklahoma Vacation Homes, got it. Vacation homes. Oh, I can't spell Oklahoma. Look at that. Okay, I really can't spell Oklahoma. Okay, where we go? Oklahoma. It just looked funny to me. All right, there we go. It was my bad. Yes, I should be showing my screen. Adora, does everybody see my screen? Okay, I'm seeing that you guys can see the screen. So Adora, it might be lagging. All right, perfect. All right, so Oklahoma vacation homes. So what else? What else should I look for? Grandison Inn. And paper planes. I'm not, again, this, I know these are not competitors. This is each of you putting in here, but I'm just going to look at these different search terms. So let's say I was looking here in the United States. There's really not a lot of search data on any of these terms. Okay, so let's look at, perfect. Oops, scrolled up to the very top here again. Sorry about that. That's that question box sometimes. And what it does, let me bring this so I can see this visibly here. Okay, South Airbnb houses in Oklahoma. Now, what you get back will depend on the amount of searches. So we have no control over that. That depends on what people are actually searching for. So let's look at Airbnb houses in Oklahoma. I'm going to take this, remove this out real quick, just to kind of do it. Let's just say we're looking at places you can stay, and I'm going to pretend that Grandison Inn is in Oklahoma. I don't know if it is for sure. But if you want to look in just Oklahoma, you can look at just Oklahoma, and let's say I'm going to just look at Oklahoma City. All right, there's not enough data for that, so I have to go even further out than a year, and I could look at 5 years. Still not a lot of data on that. So now I'm going to go get a little bit wider and put vacation homes. And I'm going to say inns and motels, okay? Now I know I'm going a little bit wide here. I'm going to just put Airbnb, since I'm looking specifically at Oklahoma City. So now I can see what people are searching for, because I went a little bit wider. I can even probably go down now to the past 90 days. Yep, I sure can. So because I went a little bit wider in my search terms, now I can get a little bit more specific once I see the results. So you can take a look here and see that in Oklahoma City, there's a lot of people talking about vacation homes. That's the word that they're using when they're looking at things. They're looking at vacation homes. Let me see, not a lot of queries in the other, a little bit of Airbnb in OKC. So they're looking for that. So if I'm, let's say, competing with an Airbnb, I might use the words like, if you're looking at an Airbnb in Oklahoma City, this is how we can make a difference, okay? Again, think about how people search for things. For example, I think I was in a webinar earlier today where we were talking about the fact that when people search, they could be utilizing other words. They're not going to just put Airbnb. They're going to look at rental. They're going to look at vacation care. Maybe they're going to look at travel managers, travel organizations, best spots, best hotels, best places to stay. So realize that it could be that you're looking for. Now, sometimes depending on your competitor, it can be really big. So remember what I said earlier, if you're looking at competitors, let's say, I go back to Google Trends, and let's say I'm looking at Uber. If you're looking for Uber, that's a really big search, okay? Because they're a very, very well-known brand. So let's say I'm going to look at Uber in Oklahoma City. And I'm going to see what people in the last day have been searching in Oklahoma City around Uber. It's actually War Acres that they're searching more about Uber. They're wondering about the Uber app. They're also asking questions about driving, vehicle, and cash. Do you have to give cash to Uber? So now you can answer that question, especially if you're competing with Uber or you're competing with somebody who receives a lot of business through Uber, okay? So that gives you a chance to see that. What if you misspell the search term? Not to worry, just take a look at that. Do understand you can sometimes misspell it because people do misspell search. So it's good to keep that in mind, Brandy. That's a good point. All right. In trend specific on the word muffin. Yeah, let's look at it real quick before we go on further. So yeah, if we go into Google Trends, look around the word muffin. Is there any specific locale, or shall we go look at United States in general? And let's just look in the past 4 hours. So we want to keep it pretty relevant. Maybe we're going to do a social post. So we want in the last 4 hours. And we want to see in the United States that it's really Rhode Island. If I was going to be spending a lot of my time, I would target Rhode Island right now. And but not about muffin top body. If we're not talking about muffin top body, maybe we're talking about muffin, actually mini muffin, English muffin, I mean English muffin pizza. But what are they talking about in Rhode Island? Let's see for sure. It's really just about muffin in general is what they're talking about. So what are they searching for? Hard to say in the last hour, but banana nut muffin. So if you make that, but we can go out to 7 days. Let's see for the last 7 days. A little bit more blueberry muffins. Okay, so people are chatting about blueberry muffins in Rhode Island. You can see that, play as much as you like with that for you to get your local, for you to get to know, boy, I tried to say that all too fast, your local community, and also to get to know your industry. Okay, so the big thing with your site to make sure that Google is seeing your site well too, and search engine optimization, is fast load time. It needs to load fast. Understand that you will gain 53% more of your traffic if you can load in 4 seconds or less. You actually lose that amount. 53% will leave your site if it doesn't load in 4 seconds or less on a mobile device. You will also lose another 10% for every second over. So fast is important, and mobile is first, where people go first. Also, you do need to be seen across all browsers. This is really important because across all browsers, we don't know, people have their personal preferences. So you need to know what people see in each browser about your business. And then also, you can use these different resources to test. So I'm going to go over those next, but let me go to questions real quick. I bring that up. How can I update the speed of my site? Oh, Rainier, perfect timing. I didn't even ask you to do that. So it is by testing your site. Find out how fast your site is or how slow by going to this URL at the bottom left-hand corner, g.co/test my site. So if you want to take a screenshot of that, you can. Do know that you'll get a copy of today's slides and the recording tomorrow. Okay, but if you wanted to take a quick snapshot right now, or if you wanted to test your site right now and let me know in the question box how fast or how slow it is, that's important too. So you can test it, find out, because if your site takes longer than 4 seconds to load, then you could be losing over half of your traffic, and you could be working your butt off on all these different socials, posting, doing email marketing, email newsletters, ads, all of this driving people to your site. But if it takes too long to load, they're going to leave. And while I'm a huge fan of Shopify because I do a lot in e-commerce, I do know there are some Shopify themes that take 3.8 seconds to load. So it's really important for you to test your site. Anybody want to share how you're testing your site, what you came up with, how many seconds it took for your site to load? If you've done it already, let me know, because I'd love to hear. What's even better with Test My Site is it'll share with you not just how fast or slow your site is, it will also show you what's slowing down your site, and better yet, you'll get a report of how to fix it. So you can take that report, you can start executing and doing and changing all the things to make your site faster, or even better, if you work with a team, or like I do, I work with my sons, so I forward it to them and I say, here, fix it. That's as techie as I get. But I do love that it covers everything. So 3.4 seconds, that's great, Jennifer. I would encourage you to get it even lower, to get it quicker, because 4 seconds is the max. I even encourage e-commerce sites which have photos and videos, all different products and SKUs loading up, to stay at about 1.8 seconds, okay? 2.8, 3.3, 3.6, yeah. Anything, even though it's lower than 4 seconds, 4 seconds people will leave. Lower than 4 seconds, there is a time when people do leave. I try to keep all sites at about 1.8 to 1.2 seconds. Oh, yes. See, so when that happens, the search engine also shows you much lower. The longer your site takes to load, it takes that as part of your actual prominence score, your quality score. So remember what I said about relevance being number one, the first part of the algorithm? The second pillar is prominence, your quality score. And that has everything to do with how fast your sites load. And if it doesn't load fast, you can't show up in the first page of Google search. No matter what you do, you've got to get that site speed down. That's one of the basics there. So good, good, good. It's recommending 2.5. Yes, Ruth, that's great. I'm glad it does that. I would take it even lower because people's attention span is truly like this. And if they see another site coming up faster, they're going to go ahead and jump to over there. So the slower, the better. Yep. And what's nice is, Caleb, you'll get what those improvements are. It'll actually show what's slowing it down, and it'll send you a report of how to fix that. So I love that. And what is Dom? Where did you see? What are you talking about, Dom? I'm not sure what that is. Let me know, Brandy, okay? Now, the door of the library, this is another one you might want to screenshot before you get the slides and recording tomorrow, and that is Google Search Console is actually the door to the library. Google Search Console is a free Google tool that lets you know the health of your site and how the search engine sees it. So you'll go to g.co/search console, and what will happen then is it'll confirm you're the owner, and then it'll take a look at what's happening on your site. In fact, I encourage you to site index it first so you can find out right away what it's seeing of your site. If you want to hang with me to the end, and even after, I will be happy to go out and show you what Google sees about your site. If you want to do that, we'll do that towards the end if we have time. Okay, so it's, oh, okay, I see. You're getting that on your report. See, now that's when you forward it to an IT person who knows what DOM is, because I know that has a lot to do with some of the, I believe some of the coding, but Brandy, don't take me for my word on it because I'm not the IT tech person. But I would definitely take a look at that, start Googling, even look on YouTube to see if there's something about that. But it will send you a report on how to fix that too. It'll give you a step-by-step on how to fix that. Oh, absolutely. So this is the door to the library that I'm showing you right now. Just want to make sure you see that screen. And this is how Google sees you. Now, if you were in the webinar that we were in last time, we actually were talking about Google Analytics, and it's really important to connect Google Analytics first to your site, because if you do that, it'll make entering the library super easy, because Google Analytics right away confirms you're the business owner. You can just go right here into Search Console and you're ready to go, okay? But do know now what it'll tell you is whether or not your site is mobile friendly. So it'll give you that feedback first, because that does affect where you show up in search. Whether or not it's fast, so the speed of your site will also, it'll let you know that right away. It'll also immediately tell you if your site's not secure. Those three items, it doesn't matter what you do and how amazing you are on your site, if you do not have a secure site, if your site is not mobile friendly and mobile responsive, and if your site is loading slowly, you're not going to show up in the first page of Google search. You'll probably not show up even in the first 3 pages, okay? It's going to be a super challenge, because those are some of the basics that Google algorithms pulling from, because they want a great user experience to the person who finds you. So it's important for us to take care of that first order of business first as a business, to make sure our site loads fast, to make sure that we are that you're entering everything in there, and that you're connecting everything in there, that you're mobile responsive, and that your site's secure, okay? All right, so keep that in mind. Take a look at yourself to see where you're at, and you can do this activity to help you see. All right, let's talk about the business profile really fast. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this because we have an entire webinar about this, but are there any questions so far? Yep, my site speed's 11 seconds. Yep, that's way too long. Way too long. If you think about that, in 4 seconds, you lose 53%. Every second afterwards, you'll lose another 10%. Who's left by 11 seconds, right? Okay, keep that in mind. So we want to make it faster. Mobile site speed. Yeah, Caleb, I've actually encouraged, so this is e-commerce shopping sites. I encourage them to stay at 1.8 seconds, and they have a lot of SKUs and photos and videos to load, and photos and videos notoriously slow us down, okay? Unless they're put on there right, they're placed and hosted right, they can slow us down. So I say that for 1.8 second, 1.2 seconds. So I would say about 1.2 seconds if you don't have an e-commerce site. Try to stay at that amount, because now you keep people's attention and they're more likely to go through your pages and really read what you have as opposed to jumping off, okay? How do you speed it up? Amber, it really depends on what's slowing you down. Okay, so when you get that report, it'll go into specifically what's slowing you down, because there's a host of things that can slow down a website load, okay? Can't find your GPP. Oh, no worries. So your Google Business Profile link is actually, if you go into the dashboard, so you have to go into the dashboard to pick up this link, you're going to go to that left-hand side. You're looking for info. It's the second item in the actual menu on the left there. And when you go into info, or even the homepage, I'm sorry, go to the homepage. You can actually find it a lot easier there. Go to the homepage, Stacy, and then you can go down to where it says the link. There's a link there to share. You're going to look for the little box that says share your profile, and it is a link that you can share on Search and Maps to be able to direct people to either find your location, find information, or more importantly, leave a good review. Okay? So as we go through here, your business profile really shows up nice and prominently. If you don't have one, go to google.com/business and see whether there's already one there for you available online, because somebody may have posted or left you a review. And so now you're already on there, but you're just not managing that. And you really do need to manage that because it is a part of your first impression. We do know that websites are the new storefront. So knowing what everybody sees on Google is truly important. If you're not on there, then you can enter yourself in. You'll enter that information, make sure that it's correct. And now you can put things like photos and videos. You can even link your website. You see right here, you have the chance to click right here on that little world bubble right there. You see that, the little circle? Well, then what you can do is you can put your website there too, because I do have a lot of people ask me, well, Maria, I already have a website, so why would I get a Google business profile? And here's my thoughts on that, because remember, look at Vince's Village Cobbler right there, how prominent that is right there on the right-hand side. If I'm trying to win the race of visibility and people doing business with me, I would much rather have 2 horses in the race than 1, because of statistically, that will give me a better opportunity to win the race and win the business. So if you're looking for me, and for example, you saw the business profile right up here, then you notice my blog post here, maybe my LinkedIn profile, another blog post, my website. If it's all about me, I've now elevated my credibility and my validity with somebody as an expert in my field, especially if you can dominate the first page of Google search, not just show up, but dominate. So that's why I encourage you linking all the Google tools, because if it's all about you, that is the best, sweetest spot to really earn business, okay? So you can do things like book things, actually showcase your products here, do posts like what's new, showcase new people who are coming to the location, maybe a new team member, or what it'll look like when they walk in. Maybe you want to showcase reviews, and you definitely do want to manage reviews, because third-party validation is how we are all making decisions now. In fact, people look at businesses and they usually look only when they have 4 stars or above, and it needs to be that you got that review within the last couple of weeks for it to really get the kind of strength that you want. So it's important to keep our reviews updated and keep them there often. And it could be that you want them to message you. So you can utilize Google Business Profile where they can message you without them knowing your cell phone number. So it works like a text, but now you can also designate other members on your team. So if you're in a webinar like today, now they can get the text and they can take action on it, because sometimes timing is everything. That's how people will actually decide who they award the business to. We know that with the real estate business, that if you don't, it's the person who responds, right? That's the one who earns the business. All right. So what you can do is start your business profile. Let me go to questions real quick. If I see this, do you have any recs for creating a website or companies that would help me create a website? So Brandy, I would reach out to the Google partner who invited you, because I'm sure they have a lot of resources and people that they've worked with before that they can give a recommendation for, because I don't have anybody like that I would recommend. Yes, so you've gotten a quote before, absolutely, so now you have an idea of what the quote runs. I will tell you website build, depending on the CMS, the content management system. So that's Squarespace, Wix, WordPress, Shopify, those are considered content management systems. It really depends on which one you're building out in, on what the price will be. So a website build can be anywhere from, just you do it yourself, all the way to 10,000 or more, and a range in between there, depending on what you need and what tool you're going to use. Okay. I was told if you switch servers and towers, your SEO rate, it would switch your SEO rating. Is that true? I would look at my speed first, because if your server is what's slowing it down, your speed, that could be the issue too. Some great questions here. So it could be that. Take a look at the report that you get from your Test My Site, because it'll go into detail into that. Perfect, Brandy. I'm glad that was helpful for you. Ask questions, please, because this is your webinar and we've got about 9 minutes left. As I told you, I'm going to touch real quickly on advertising, not heavy, but I will show you how you can use Google Ads for free. So let me, remember what I warned you about, one more video. So let me go to that video real quick, and then I'm going to try to come back after that.
Everybody likes jam. Who doesn't like jam? Seriously, I dream about flavors. Trade Street Jam Company makes low-sugar vegan jams for pretty much everything under the sun. Honey, do you know how many things you can do with this jam? You can make cocktails, you can put on roasted meats or veggies, oatmeal. The uses are endless. I've been a chef for about 15 years. I needed something fun to do after work. I'm not a big TV watcher. I would stop at this store on the way home, grab a bunch of fruit, anything weird and exotic that they had, and I start cooking. I start jamming. Too much? You don't like the puns?
Do you like the bananas, honey? Yeah.
My husband is my test dummy, I guess you can say.
You want some more?
You like mommy's cooking?
When I started Trade Street, I was selling on another e-commerce platform, and we were also selling a lot of jam in person. But COVID hit and all the markets shut down, which freaked me out. I'm already scared about being a new mommy. And then on top of that, I'm worried about the life of my business. People started ordering specialty food online, so we immediately had to pivot and focus all of my efforts on selling online. When people go on Google and they search jam or jelly, I want them to be able to find my brand. With Google Ads, they can type those things in and I pop up. You guys, that's huge. Being able to sell on our website, it really did save us. I couldn't imagine going back to not using Google products. We went from making 2,000 jars every 2 months to making 2,000 jars every 2 weeks. Our sales increased by 1,000%. It was crazy. I've hired 4 or 5 different contractors. Hiring feels amazing. I think it's so important for our product to have a story behind it. I think when people see a woman behind the brand, a person of color, it just really adds something to that jar other than jam.
Oh, you kiss mommy? You kissing mommy?
I want Zola to be able to grow up and look at me and say, my mom did that. I wouldn't trade that for the world.
All right. That is awesome. Okay, let's go to screen 2. Just want to make sure that you guys can see this now. There we go. So I thought a couple people did not get the video, didn't get to see that. It really has to do with your browser connection. So sometimes that happens. Unfortunately, we can't control that, but you will get to see it when you get a copy of today's slides. Okay, so you and the webinar, which will be tomorrow, the recording of it. So it'll all come to you tomorrow. So let's talk about online advertising, okay? And to answer your question, Ruth, yes, you can utilize a different email address, but if you already connected it to one, what you need to do is you will need to make a little bit of switcheroo there by putting the new email address, addressing it. So you can do that, but you do have to link the two together. So I can show you that if you need to. But yes, you can use a different email address, but if you already have one created, everything's associated with that email address. So keep that in mind, okay? So I'll show you how you can link that if you need that help. So with Google Ads, remember what I said, I'm going to show you how you can use this for free. Now the ads you actually have to pay for, so that's not free. I don't want to mislead you to make you think that they're for free, but you can go to Google Ads and start exploring around, because the biggest thing that I like to do here is, first of all, take advantage of the fact that Google AI is working for you. Google's AI has the history of looking at what everybody searches, as well as all these different businesses, and finding how to apply it to provide you the best kind of suggestions when we're looking at keywords. So that's why I recommend Smart Campaigns, because Smart Campaigns is Google's AI at its best and working. The big thing that you're going to have to do is really look at this checklist and do the heavy lifting here. You have to decide what your goals are. If you don't know what your goals are, then any ad that you do is not going to perform well for you. There's just no silver bullet to that. It is understanding what you're going to measure, because if you're not measuring, you're not marketing. $1 or 1 minute spent that's not lifting the bottom line or getting you closer to your goal is $1 or 1 minute spent too much. But you can see here exactly how you can put an ad together. So it's looking at exactly this checklist. So I would screenshot this or look for this when you get a copy of today's slides. Okay. The goal is the most important part. This is really key, because whatever goal you choose, it will take you different ways, because it is going to be able to present ads that fulfill this goal. Now, do understand, you can do all of this and you don't have to pay for this part, right? You just go through this part. Then you can put your information in there. You will have to do that to be able to get to the next screen. So put that in there. If you are doing an ad, double check your work. Make sure you do, but do put your business name as it is, because Google AI will match you with the category that you have there. Plus you have a chance to actually put your website. So I would click that link and put that link there. So if people click, they'll go. Now, if you're using this as an ad, here's the big caution. make sure you take them to exactly the product or whatever you're talking about in your ad. If you're talking about donating, if you're talking about some information and really positioning yourself, make sure you go straight to that page, because there's nothing that makes people more mad than being sent to a home page and now having to try to figure things out. And it's the #1 mistake that people make with ads, is they send them to the home page because they do want them to see everything, but they don't understand that part of building credibility is taking them where you told them you're going to take them. If you're going to take them to the tomato recipe, take them there, okay? And then you can see what an ad will look like. Again, this is if you want to use it for ads, but I'm going quickly through here because I want to show you how you can use it for free. Again, you could put headlines there. You do have to do this part, again, to get to the next area. But what's nice is this. This is what I like. You can now see what Google AI is recommending for keywords, and you can use this in your organic. So this is, if this is as far as you want to go, then that's all you need to do is go here. There's also an ability, if you go up here to the settings, to the little wrench up here, you can go to the keyword planner. It's a free keyword planner. It lets you know how much people search for things and what they're searching for too, okay? So I hope that's helpful, because that shows you some of the free that you have available to you just through Google Ads. And then if you're doing ads, we actually have an entire webinar about learning the basics of Google Ads. But now we are about 2 minutes to time. So I don't want to not be, again, respectful of your time, and I want to answer your questions. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go off of video, as far as not off of video, off of video recording. And I do want to look for Q&A.